Hello everybody, welcome back. Here we are, and time to debug the bug. Yeah, I mean, the last time we worked on this, we had an issue. Actually, we worked on fixing few things, and we just simply spoiled a few things as well. So that is something we have to fix right now, and let's see what's actually causing this to happen. And ultimately, the bug is this, that if I just simply zoom in and all, so as long as the shape is selected, so everything works fine, no problem as such, right? But when the shape when that's not selected anymore, because normally we don't face the issues with this at all, this is working fine. And selected in the sense, this is the what this is overlay. Once done, so we have two separate things. The overlay is here, and then it actually keeps going for some reason. The overlay just simply keeps going away. So this is something that's happening. Now as we start moving, it suddenly increases. That simply means overlay is the issue, because the main shape heights and overlay suddenly increases. So why is the value of overlay increasing at, I mean, suddenly? Problem is in the overlay side. So this is the overlay that we actually have, and we get the scale in here. Once we actually get the scale, somehow the shapes that we actually have, that's changing. So before even that, I need to make sure if it is actually happening or not. So let's go to Redux and state. I'm gonna pin the shape over here. Let's draw a shape. Once the shape is drawn, here we have this, and I'm gonna pin the width. Once we move it here, this is fine. Once I change the once I zoom in, actually let's just simply wait for all the events to just happen in here. Initially it was just 85, then we just need to wait for all of them to be processed. Let's make it 2x. How long will it keep going on? Okay, this seems to be done right now. So the height is 85. Now if I select this, height actually remains 85 only. If the height remains 85, then why is the frame changing? Ultimately overlay changing. So when it comes to the overlay, so first of all we have transformation, apply this, it sort of does the job. The next thing is mm, the preview shape, because we just get the preview shape in here. That's right, so preview shapes are nothing but the selected shapes, and interaction.preview shape is something that we get in here. So if it has 85, so the preview shape should have 85 as well, but when zoomed in, '85. It is still 85, but the preview shape is actually changing even if it is 85. In that case width is 85, but as soon as I move it, it becomes bigger, so as if something got attached to this. So definitely that must be, it is always 85, so that is the first thing. Yeah, in that case what can be the issue? If this is right, we just simply render the shapes. When we actually render the shapes are actually rendered like this. And we are passing the scale the same way the remaining things are actually being drawn. Render, shape selection and all these things. So when it comes to draw, and when we are drawing the bounds, let me see what are all the places where am I using the tolerance. Frame editor, so tolerance multiplied by 1.5, that is fine. Then selected shape context, handle wrap selection in frame. Something that we changed, and that can be the issue. Earlier we were not facing this, and now we are facing this. So right now we have to check the difference in the files. Probably this is something that can be better. Where do I have this F inside huge callback? Huge canvas renderer, and then we have F somewhere. Huge canvas, huge create canvas renderer. Huge create canvas renderer in here, probably at the end. There's no error as such in here. Now I have to use git to check out the differences. So git status. So this is the current file that we actually have, and we have to know the differences, right? So git log one line. So fixed shape delete bug. I have to actually go here. The head is on this one right now. git diff help. We can just simply pass the options in here. So from the current one, the difference in this one, here we have this, and first of all what we actually did, that we added the free draw there. Let's just simply keep doing this. These are the differences, right? Add multiple selection. Use scale, set scale, export inside the properties panel, item wrapper differences. Will we get something that can be helpful? Draw frame. Whenever we are drawing the frame, we are passing this much right now. We remove the line stroke from the is it what from where frame.ts, and that is fine, and we removed all these things. I removed the tolerance scale, and then I added this, that is also fine. Okay. Selected shapes, new selected shapes, we use duplicate shapes. This is sort of working fine as well. Const hit shape, point hit shape. When we are actually getting the hit shape, we are passing the scale as well. That is fine. So return handle pointer down, we are returning one more thing this time. So then set shapes, use restore, use editor, shapes, scale, get state, use this default delete shapes. Then we have we actually removed the selected bounds, so that is fine. We are just simply passing these things in there. So set frames and all these things, we are just simply getting rid of these. We actually removed all these things. Pick editor, that is fine. That is it. Is this the end? Git log. When we actually added this git log one line, and we have implemented framing, right? So when we actually implemented framing, at that time we did not really have this bug, right? Let me see. Git status. I wanna go to this one first of all. This. And right now if I draw something, I zoom in, we had the issue here as well. What the hell? Interesting. Never expected this thing to happen. Git branch. So we are at this and we still have the same bug. Great. We have it the head is on the refactor implemented framing, working on frame and duplicate and delete action. That simply means we've had this bug for a long time. I never really paid attention. You know what happened? We were on the refactor one. Implemented framing. Uh, What the hell? I lost a few things. They were stashed, and what does it mean? This is not exactly what I wanted. Come on, yaar, I lost even the changes. Insane. I don't really have any other option. I have to remove this much. The head is already there. Implemented framing. There was one more, and that was stash, if I'm not wrong. No branch. This should go. We just had a commit. That wasn't fixed shape. It doesn't belong to any branch. You know what actually happened? That once I actually switched the branch, I went to the previous commit, and then I started working on there, and then it starts from there. So the changes that I made, they didn't really belong to any branch. Writing code again is not a problem. We can do that. Yeah, that's what I actually did earlier. Come on. The crazy thing was that whatever changes I made, they were made on the detached header. That was crazy. I didn't really switch back to the normal branch after that. Even these changes, it's not being calculated. First of all, I have to bring all these changes. Let me do one thing. As expected. So now what I have to do, Such a blunder I made. Thankfully, I was able to recover it. The whatever the code we wrote. There are bugs for sure, but at least it's been recovered. Otherwise, I would have had to write the code again. Why am I not able to add those files? Will I have to add them one by one or something? That was insane. Alrighty, there was a log file that was just simply making them unmodifiable. Now they're modified. That's fine. What's the next thing? We have this in here, working on frame. Let's go to this one or check out the differences. So we did not have that bug here, right? The one we are actually facing. Okay, that's fine. Let's check git. everything's working here. Working on frame. Reload this. Things were great at this level as well. Great. Even here I can create this frame, but we cannot edit this. Yeah, so it's been working at this level as well. Great, good to know that. The head is at this. Hmm. Something is up. So till this point everything is working. Implemented framing. At this point we start facing issues. As expected. So what should I do? um, Over here everything is working. Now I have to check the difference between the current one and this one, and that would be it. And this is gonna tell us what we changed and what shouldn't have changed. Okay, let's try this thing out. We removed all these things, that is right. Then we removed properties panel and instead we started using editor reps, that is also fine. We removed canvas overlay and then we started using this. We removed this and instead we started using shortcuts, pointer reps. We removed on double click text editing and started using on double click canvas interaction handle rep, that is fine. We removed context menu and had the pointer there, that is fine for now. Then going ahead, these are the things that were added. Then we removed shape selected and then I have sent these things, that's fine. Use set frames, set selected frames, that is okay, no problem as such. They were removed and on behalf of them they were removed actually, fine. Concept frames were removed and then deleted shapes, we started using it differently. Close context menu, I removed and then sort of I added as well. Set selected previous shapes, frame ID, UID, that's fine. Minix, what are we doing here? Get group bounds, so we just simply removed this and instead we started getting it like this. So get group bounds selected shapes, so I just simply pass selected shapes directly. I had the bounds there, and once I actually got the bounds, so later create a function for this, whatever, and then we just pass the bounds here. Earlier we were passing start point and end point, and we were creating a start point x min x. Interesting. So earlier what were we doing here, that we had the start point and end point, and we were just simply getting the normalized rectangle, and this is happening inside the what is the file name? This file name is actually what? This is the selected shape context, and inside selected shape context handle wrap selection in frame, and we were handling it like this earlier, and now we are handling it like this. So what is the difference? We are getting the scaled tolerance. So this is interesting. So we calculated the scale tolerance multiplied by 5. अभी ये क्या है भाई? Where is this file? Handle wrap selection in frame. That is the wrapping section, fine. Understandable. So this is all about the framing part, right? Handle wrap selection in frame, so that must be part of the selection itself. So interaction selection, and this is it, what we are doing here. Handle shapes move, not this one. Handle frame interaction, what was the name of the function anyway? The name of the function was handle wrap selection frame. Wherever this is used, let me copy it and it's actually been used here. handle wrap selection frame. If I go to this one, okay, so we have the, ultimately what we are doing, that we are creating the frame. To create the frame we are adding 5 multiplied by tolerance around 50 pixels, call it pixels of course. So that much tolerance we are adding. uh, that is bad. Handle wrap selection whenever creating, we are creating that. So this is the scale tolerance, then selected shapes are gonna be there, frame id is gonna be there normally. So bounds, the bounds of the selected shapes, min x minus scaled tolerance. This is not the scaled tolerance, that is uh, this is not the scale tolerance. First of all, it should have a better name. What can be the better name for it? Mm, and we just simply subtract it, right? So this is gonna be okay. By the way, we can have a better name for this later, but as of right now this cannot really be the region for it. So I'm just simply gonna ask AI to give it the better name. Give scale tolerance. Hopefully it will be able to understand. So that's gonna be frame padding. Yeah, that makes sense. Frame padding. So but this cannot be the reason behind the result that we are actually seeing. So that's good that we got this. Let's continue. So once we did this, yeah, we've done this, we are subtracting it and all, that is right. Then we are this is all about frames. So how the frames are actually being drawn and how the shapes are actually being set as of right now. So this is something that's happening there. And we added this complete new file, and that is the, what is the name of the file? Frame name editor. This is completely a new file that just simply got added here. And after that, what we are doing inside the canvas text editor, earlier we were calculating the font size like this. Now we are just simply saying that text editing state.font size, this is inside text editor. And if that is fine, earlier we were depending on only one, right now we are even calculating using the scale. This is the class, and delete shapes, now we actually use it like this. We removed this, added this. Great. Properties panel, actions we had earlier like this, now we have it like this. And we removed the shapes and added this. We removed skip IDs and added skip IDs as a set over here, that is also good. Then we removed this way of calculating the what, render shapes, and we added this. Ultimately it started having more things in itself. So render shape is gonna have the frame, all these things. Earlier it was limited with these, right now it has these many. Skip IDs has that, then continue, because that's not an array anymore. draw ctx, we are passing all these things in there, and arrow shape is inside frame. We are talking about frame.ts right now. So if is inside a frame, we are just simply, we removed all these things, and we removed this much. We added actually a if statement over here, that is fine, and we removed this part and added this one, scale tolerance over here, so that this is actually happening inside point in segment.ts. So we don't want the tolerance, the distance to be increasing because of the tolerance being increased, and hence we are gonna be using the, we'll be just simply dividing it as well. And we started passing the point in rectangle, so ultimately we are passing the scale as well. Right now scale is being passed. When scale is being passed, point in segment, it accepts the scale. When it accepts the scale, so point in segments, I pass this, and inside that, inside this diamond.ts, this is the formula to check whether something's inside the diamond or not. So earlier we were using it like this, now we are gonna be using scale tolerance, and this is just for the checking purpose, so doesn't really make any difference, or does it? We'll see. Then similarly over here as well, we started using the scaled tolerance instead of just this, and this is point in ellipse. So whenever we are checking, so point in frame, point in segment, this is it. Okay, that's fine. Point this, and we actually started using this. It actually accepts that. Duplicated shapes. UID is gonna be the hit shape. Look at position. We are passing the scale to check the hit shape, and and apart from this particular thing, begin move interaction, calculate the drag offset. So we what are we doing here? Inside which file? All these things are actually happening inside well, that's quite a lot. Point in segment, not even here, that's not the file name. Use selection actions.ts, this is the file name, and inside this we are getting these things done. Properly the drag offset is not being calculated the right way. Yeah, not just the drag offset. When we zoom in, we'll see earlier we were using drag offset, then we switched, we just simply removed it from here, we removed all these things from here, Hmm. Let me go through it really quickly. Its shape. I have a few things to check. So this is the end. So only there's one thing that we changed quite a lot. That is the scaling related stuff. Remaining things are fine. So what if I just stop using that? Hmm. So we actually use the scaled tolerance here, but I want that wherever I'm actually using the tolerance, I'm just gonna be using the tolerance. Even if I'm gonna be having it for no reason as of right now. I'm gonna just do it. And scaled text height, text width. It is just for testing purpose. I wanna see the difference in the result. Well, it doesn't really make any difference. So the region is really something else, so it's gonna take the debugging time. Anyway, I just have some work to do, so I'm just gonna be doing this later. This is really an insane thing. What I changed, I don't even know something that is causing this. So what is actually happening that rendering is problem. So anything related to render, and especially when we start moving, yeah, so this needs to be fixed. Anyway, we'll be working on this hopefully by tomorrow and all. It's going to be fixed. The thing is that we'll have to go through each and every changes that we actually made, or directly. There are two ways. First of all, comparing the things, the differences between the files and all, and the second is that actually debugging it from here onwards. So let's see which one is gonna be better. I'm gonna be catching up soon, probably after half an hour. I'll be back again. Tonight we will try to resolve this, but let's see how it's gonna be going on. I'm gonna see you soon.